Now there are two types: deadlock prevention and deadlock detection recovery. Now deadlock prevention of three types: no cycle wait, rollback, and timeout based schemes. But in deadlock recovery detection there are two types: wait for the graph and rollback, and it is a total rollback and the partial rollback. Now in this video we'll discuss about the deadlock prevention techniques. Here's deadlock prevention techniques. Okay. Now deadlock prevention techniques, these are three types: no cycle wait, rollback, and timeout based scheme. Now no cycle waits are of two types: conservative two-phase locking and ordering based protocol. And rollback of two types: wait die and wound die, and timeout based scheme. Now already we know. So what is deadlock prevention? Now to ensure that the system will never enter a deadlock state, so a schedule is there, it will never enter into the deadlock state. So by using these techniques we can prevent a schedule to enter into the deadlock state. Now first one is what? It is no cycle wait. Now in no cycle waits there are two types: conservative two-phase locking and ordering based protocol. Now you can see here conservative two-phase locking, each transaction locks all its data item before it begins execution. Locked all the data or none are locked. That means what? Say T1 transaction needs to execute something, and here T1 needs the variable A, B, C. So before beginning of its transaction, T1 hold all the locks A, B, C, so that T1 should not wait for others. Similarly, suppose T2 transaction is there. Okay. Now T2 transaction needs the variable A, B, and X. Okay. Now X is free to use. Now T2 can get X immediately, but right now A and B, T1 is using this particular A and B variable. So T2 will not wait for the transaction. It will not start its execution because the AB variable is not free. So T2 will wait to begin its transaction. Okay, and when it will acquire all the variables, then it will start its execution. So so that means what? Transaction T2 locks all its data item before it begins its execution. Now the limitation is what? So three limitations are there. Say hard to predict the total data will be required in advance. Now it is very difficult. Sometimes it is very difficult to say how many data items will required to complete its transaction. Okay. So if it is not required, so it is very difficult to start. Second is what? Low data utilization. That means what? Say for example, now T1 transaction needs ABC variable, but the use of A is in only the 5 minutes in T1 transaction, and use of B and C it is say 2 hours. So unnecessary T1 locked this particular A variable. So that means what? No other transaction can start because of this A variable, because all the two transactions, say for example T3 and T4 needs this particular A variable. So T3, T4 must wait the 2 hours, further 2 hours, because A is not free. That's what is called low data utilization. And next is what? Low concurrency. Low concurrency means what? T3, T4 needs this A variable, but it is not possible because A is currently holding this. T1 is holding this particular lock for A variable. Okay. So these are the limitations of no cycle wait. Next is what? Ordering based protocol. Now impose an ordering of all data items and require that a transaction log data item only in a success consisting with the order. Now for example, tree protocol. For example, say that 4 data items are there. Say T1, D2, T3, D4. Say 6 data items are there: D5 and D6. Okay, now this is the order. The data should be executed in this ascending order. Data should be executed in this particular ascending order. Now the transaction T1 is there. So suppose T1 needs D2 and D3. So always start from the D2. Okay, always start from D2. Then it can take D3. Okay. Now suppose T2 needs say D3, D4, D5, D6. So first of all, D2 acquire this D3. Then it will take D4, D5 and D6. Are you getting this one? Similarly, suppose D1, D2, D3, D4 is there, and suppose two transactions are there, T1 and T2. Now both the transactions, T1 needs D1, D2 and D3, and T2 needs say D1 and D2. So both will start from this one, D1. Okay, but obviously definitely any one of the transaction can use this particular D1, D2, D3 variable. So if D1 capture first, then that means what? T2 must wait. T2 cannot start its execution. So first T1 completes its part, completes its execution, or T1 first use all these variable. After that T2 will use these two variable D1 and D2. So this is called ordering based protocol. So which we have seen in tree protocol. You can see you can see our video on this particular graph protocol. Okay, graph based ordering. Next is what? Rollback. Okay, now we have seen this one. No cycle wait. So deadlock prevention of no cycle wait, rollback and timeout based scheme. So we have completed this one, conservative two-phase locking and ordering based protocol. Now we'll talk about rollback. Now these are two types, wait die and wound wait. Okay, now rollback. Now that rollback of two type, preemption and rollback, it is a two type, wait die and wound die. Now in preemption, when a transaction T2 requests a lock that transaction T1 holds, the lock granted to T1 may be preempted by rolling back of T1 and granting of the lock to T2. Note that if a transaction is rolled back, it retains its old timestamp when restarted. Now see the meaning of preemption. Okay. Now in preemption, when a transaction T2, say for example T2, requests a lock that transaction T1 holds. Suppose request a lock for A and B, but A and B is what? T1 is holding this particular lock. Okay, T1 hold the lock granted to T1 may be preempted by rolling back of T1. Okay, by rolling back of T1 and granting of lock to the T2 means that just take away the resources from A and B, permission of A and B from T1 and given to the T2 transaction and roll back the T1. This concept is called preemption. Now taking away resources from other transaction, okay, that is called preemption. Now T1, T2 is going on. T1 is already is using A and B. T1 has the permission A and B, but at the same time T2 needs A and B. So what will the preemption means what? That permission, this particular T1 roll back its transaction and now T2 gets D2 can hold this particular lock, A and B lock. Okay, so preemption and rollback of two type, wait die and wound die. We can say first of all wait die. So when a transaction Ti requests a data item currently held by Tj. Okay, now see Ti is requesting a data item currently held by Tj. Now Tj is that particular Tj is holding this particular two variables A and B. Now Ti is allowed to wait only if TSTi is greater than TSTj. Now Ti and Tj, which one is the older? Now you can see the timestamp. So that TSTi here, it is TSTi is what? It is 9 am and TSTj is what? It is 10 am. So which one is the older transaction? Ti is the older transaction. Tj is a newer transaction in this, if you compare these two. So if TSTi is less than TSTj, okay, so what is TSTi? It is 9 am. And what is TSTj? It is what? 10 am. Now the condition is true. So that is the Ti is older than Tj, otherwise Ti is rollback. That means what? If Ti and Tj is there, now currently Tj is holding this particular log A and B. But Ti needs this one. Ti needs this particular A and B. So Ti must wait for Tj, because Ti is older than Tj. So after completion of Ti can complete this execution. Otherwise, Ti is rollback. That means what? If it is a Ti, this one. So if this condition is not true, that means if TSTI, now if it is a TSTI and this is TSTJ, now Tj is using this particular A and B variable, and Tk needs the same variable A and B. That means what? What is TSTI? So TSTK will be what? It is 11 am. And what is TSTJ? So TJ is currently holding A and B. It is 10 am. Now this condition is not true. So this condition is not true means what? This will be the newer transaction. If it is a newer transaction, then otherwise, then it is rolled back. So we can see it should be rolled back. We have to roll back this particular transaction. So that means what? Oldest must wait, newer must roll back, and older gets the lock. So this is old. So this is what? Oldest. This is what? Older, and this is what? Newest. So currently the data older is holding this particular transaction. If it is the case, oldest must wait for the older, and newest must roll back its transaction. So we can see one, Ti is requesting for lock if TSTI is less than TSTJ, where ij varies from 1 to n and I not equal to j, then Ti, which is oldest, is wait, must wait. Else, otherwise, if this condition is not true, Ti, that is newer, is rolled back. So this is what actual logic we have to implement. Next we can say und wait. It is called preempted. This is what non-preempted. This is what preempted. Now three transactions are there: Ti, Tj, and Tk. Are you getting this one? So when Ti requests a data item currently held by Tj, if Ti is requesting a data item currently held by Tj, now Ti is allowed to wait only if it has a TSTI is greater than TSTJ. Otherwise, Tj is rolled back. Okay, that means what? Say Ti and Tj, these two transactions is going on. Now, if TSTI, what is TSTI? Assume it is 9 am, here it is 10 am, and here it is 11 am. Now, Ti is request for rollback. Suppose for lock. Now Ti is requesting for lock. If TSTI is greater than TSTJ, what is TSTI? So TSTI is what? TSTI is say 9 am, and TSTJ is what? TSTJ is what? It is 10 am. Now this condition is what? This condition is not true. It will execute at the else part. So Tj is rolled back and Ti gets the lock. Now Ti gets the lock. It will get the lock and Tj is rolled back. That means what? Due to this Ti request, Tj hurt, Tj wound. So Tj will roll back due to this Ti request, because Ti is what? Older transaction than Tj. If it is not the case, so Tj is rolled back and Ti gets the lock. Okay, so are you getting this one? So if TSTI is greater than TSTJ, now Ti is requesting, if this condition is not true, that means what? This condition is not true because Ti is older than TSTJ, so Tj is rolled back and Ti gets the lock. So Tj is rolled back, Ti gets the lock. But if TSTI, now if you see these two transactions, if now Ti is requesting for this, so say this is what our Ti is requesting for the lock. Now what is TSTI? It is 11 am. Okay, so it is what? 11 am. And what is TSTJ? Now this one is the TSTJ. It is what? It is 10 am. Okay, that means this condition is true. That means what? Ti is allowed to wait. So Tk, that means now it is Ti is wait. So the transaction must wait for this particular transaction. So after completion of Tj, Tk can continue its. That means what? If newer must wait, oldest gets the lock and older roll back. Are you getting this one? So if you compare this one, wait die and wound wait, we can see. So in wait die, oldest, older, and young and newer. So oldest, it must wait. If it is older, gets the lock, and if it is a younger, roll back. But in wound wait, oldest gets the lock, older rollback, and newer younger must wait. Now you can see one thing, if it is a rollback, the timestamp will not change. If it is a 10 am, next time it is also 10 am. That means what? Here in this case, wait difference. Now in this situation, first, if it is a first situation, it is the younger, then it must roll back. But after second time, when it will re-enter with the same timestamp, it will be what? It will be the older or oldest. So that means what? Second time it will get the lock. Okay, anyhow it will get the lock. Okay, so that means what? In this way you can prevent the starvation problem in wait time. Now in this case also, oldest, older, and younger and newer. Now here older is the older should roll back, but the timestamp is not changed. That means what? When second next time this particular transaction will enter into the system with the old TSTM, that means what? Now the transaction time will be what? It will be the oldest. That means the second time when older will enter into the schedule, enter into the machine, so it will, that particular transaction gets the lock. So in this way, because of no change of timestamp, we can eliminate the problem of starvation problem. Now you can see the comparison. So fewer rollback in the wound wait, and limitation is unnecessary, too much rollbacks are there in both the cases. Now next we will discuss about timeout based protocol. Now a transaction that has requested a lock waits for at most a specified amount of time. If a lock has not been granted within that time, the transaction is set to timeout and it rolls itself back and restart. In deadlock situation, one or more transaction involved in the deadlock will timeout and roll back itself. Okay, so it helps it will prevent the deadlock state. Now you can see, say three transactions are there, Ti and Tj and Tk. Now say total window is what? This is what? Timeout window. So this duration. Now if it is, now it is going. Now Ti is waiting. Okay. Tj is waiting and Tk is also waiting. Now this particular Ti reached its that particular duration. If Ti reached this particular duration, Ti completed its timeout duration, then Ti rollbacks. Now similarly, at the same time, the Tj waits till right now this up to this point. After Tj is waiting more. So that means what? When this particular position reach, Tj will also roll back. Are you getting this one? So using this particular timeout based protocol, now say if it is the case, say T1, T2 and T3 transactions are there. Now all are waiting for each other. Now if it is timeout, if T1 timeouts, that means what? T1 will roll back. That means what? T2 can continue its execution as well as T3. So in this way we can prevent the deadlock. Okay. Now the advantage of this one, timeout based protocol, so it is simple, effective and easy to implement. And disadvantage is what? Now to measure the wait time duration, to identify what should be the exact wait time duration, what should be the correct wait time duration. Okay. Now if it is a too long wait, so delay or deadlock, and if it is too short, unnecessary rollbacks are there. Okay, and definitely in this particular time wait based protocol, starvation is there. In the next video we will talk about deadlock detection and recovery. Thank you very much.